How's it going, people? Simon Slappy here, and this is update day. It's Monday, so you can now augment your higher tier stuff. That's pretty much the update for today in and of itself, and we got some patch notes to go along with it. So, augmentable defenders is now a thing. Your level 70 and higher defenders for each combat style can now actually be augmented. They've only got one gizmo slot, but they can take either a weapon or armor gizmo, and they've also had the designs changed ever so slightly. Additionally, you can now augment your degraded dust equipment, upgraded Malevolent Ceramic Tectonic armors, as well as your God Wars 2 upgraded armors can now be augmented with Invention at the workbench. And you'll need a new armor pence and an augmenter and level 36, or 36 of the Divine Charge items in order to actually do it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the updates for today, in a nutshell. All that's left is your patch notes. So graphical wise, updated the Hobgoblin Fur models from Fur and Seek to match the new Hobgoblin models. The Blast Furnace Bank Chest now has an icon on the minimap. Spirit Trees have had their animations restored. Skill wise, all monsters within the fight kiln have now been buffed in both their life points and damage. Most notable of the buffs are Takor Jad from 7.9k life points to 40k life points, and Harakan's been boosted from 48k life points to 150k. So yeah, if you haven't done the fight kiln by now, then it's going to be a little bit tougher. Mainly just because it takes a little bit longer to kill shit, but either way. Players can now use the ability Surge inside the fight kiln. Players can no longer use the alchemy spells while performing certain emotes. It is no longer possible to log out in the Phoenix Egg reward chamber either. And they've added extra checks to prevent blocked items from being taken into Fisticuthux. Players will no longer disconnect when disassembling items if there are fewer items than originally specified either. On to your quests and stuff. The quest icon for Kindred Spirits is now removed from the map upon completion. They've also fixed the typo when speaking to Jericho at the start of the Biohazard quest. In NXT, the delay that happens when setting audio effects has now been fixed. Intermittent flickering observed in compatibility modes has also been fixed. Fixes have been made for some animations that were appearing on the floor above when Remove Roof Always was selected. They fixed incorrect minimap display when disguised, for example in heists. The issue where the minimap sometimes appeared black has also been fixed. They've improved loading speed and reduced stutter whilst you're moving. They've improved the performance on AMD graphics cards as well. Rivers appearing narrower than they actually should on the minimap has also been sorted out. Fixes have been made to stop some locations turning invisible when Remove Roofs Always is selected. Animations like Soul Split will no longer be visible from the floor below. And fixed doors turning invisible in instance areas. They've also fixed the minimap terrain appearing grey in some places, such as Privlinus. Additionally, weirdly enough, some Java fixes. Java and NXT search results now actually match up, and they've also fixed a rare crash in the animation system. Onto your miscellaneous stuff. Winter Storage Scrolls and the Legendary Pet Banquet ability can no longer be used above level 30 Wilderness. Unlocking the Araxite pet from the reroll feature on Araxy's corpse will now send a broadcasted message. Multiple dark red messages in-game have been updated to make them easier to read. Attempting to clear the Rune Metrics loot interface in combat now gives the correct message. Players can no longer claim more baby trolls when one is already stored within the player-owned house menagerie. Dragging items to the action bar with the Beast of Burden inventory open in the bank will no longer add items from the familiar to the action bar. The price checker no longer displays incorrect values when the value of a stack of items goes above 2 billion coins. And the message received when purchasing bonds now mentions the currency pouch. And last but not least, we got some ninja fixes. Degradable items are now dropped in the Wilderness with their charges intact. High-end defenders can now be augmented. These only have one gizmo slot but can take either a weapon or an armor gizmo. Augmented items are now accounted for on the Wealth Evaluator. Newly created Fishing Rod O-Matics now stack in the bank. Existing Fishing Rod O-Matics that have no gizmos or item XP can be converted into this new stacking variant with a right-click option. They've upgraded God Wars 2 Dungeon. Malevolent Ceramic and Tectonic armors can now be augmented at the Invention workbench using a non-degraded piece with an augmenter and 36 divine charges. Already degraded armor cannot be augmented. These armor pieces use their own charge rather than the main charge pack, and once all charge is used and the item is at level 10, it becomes uncharged and can no longer be used. Gear upgraded in this way cannot use augmentation dissolvers. Non-augmented God Wars Dungeon 2 upgraded armor now degrades 10% down from 20% once you reclaim it from your gravestone. They've also removed the warning when disassembling items when the player has maximum materials. Shields tier 70 and above may now also be augmented. Augmented shields can take 1 armor gizmo, they gain item XP and drain divine charge at the same rates as offhand weapons. Augmented shield bows may now take up to 1 weapon and 1 armor gizmo. Players can now disassemble individual items in combat, and item XP and XP until the next item level now appears in an augmented items tooltip and in the chat window when checked during combat. And last but not least, the destroy option for augmented equipment has been changed to disassemble. Players can still destroy these by dragging them from the bank, such as if a player wishes to reclaim tokens for chaotic gear. And that, ladies and gents, is pretty much it. So yeah, you can now augment higher tier stuff and some patch notes. Literally all there is for today. So with that said, till next time, catch you all later. Have a good one.